everyone, welcome back to Lovely Lavender Wishes. It's Renee. I hope you're having a very blessed day. So today we're going to continue on. Let me adjust my camera a little bit here. Sorry, y'all. So today we're going to continue on with our nature journal. So let me show you what I have gotten so far. I still have the clips on these. I just clipped them off while they were drying. They should be dry at this point. If not, I could always go back. So let me unclip these. I'll show you what I have accomplished so far. So these clips are great for anytime you're trying to glue something and you don't want to sit there and hold it down. Just clip it all together. That's what I do all the time. Let the glue dry, get it on there real well, real good. Okay, so let's see if we can, let me show you what I did. Okay, so here is our book so far. Look at that, y'all. Oh, it's looking so cool. I'm getting so excited. This is the time when I really start getting excited. I'm like, yay, it's starting to come together. Okay, so we've done the first part. So this is what this side looks like. This is the pull out. It pulls out like this and it flips like this. And then this part is the part that we did together a while back. So that was that section. So this section, I showed you how I put this together. It's just a button and tie enclosure. So opens up into a pocket here. So we've got a little pocket here. And then this closes. And you just do the zigzag back and forth, back and forth. Okay, so this flips into this little, it's kind of like a pocket. You can put papers. Let me just grab, to size, but you can put papers in here and it'll hold it in. Put little taller ones in, what have you, in here. Here is the little clear pocket flip. So this is the pocket, it goes all the way down. So I sewed this part, so y'all saw how I put the papers together. All I did was sew straight stitch around both sides. Now, okay, if you're gonna do that, remember, do each side separately. Sew each side separately, because if you sew it all together, then you're only gonna have this part as a pocket. So I sewed this side separately and then this side separately. So before I sewed it in here, I had it all open and I sewed each side separately. Then I put it all together and then sewed them both together with the zigzag stitch. So that way my pocket goes all the way down to the bottom, all the way down to here. After that, I sewed, you can see here, I sewed a straight stitch. I glued it in and then sewed it as well. So it should be in there good. So this is the flip pocket right here. So y'all, I decided, I was debating on my Edith Holden book. I had these little like specimen cards free from Artie Mays. So I had two of them, so I figured, well, I'll just double them, one on each side, so that way I had the same image back and forth. So this was acetate paper. It's a pocket that goes all the way down. Goes all the way down. So that's a cool pocket. So all I did, again, I took each side and sewed around, a straight stitch around each side separately. And then once I got it all together, I sewed all these pieces together, if that makes sense. It does when you have it and you're looking at it and, my top came off here. There we go. It makes sense when you have it all together and you're figuring it out. So then I just sewed it all together to make sure it's all attached to my envelope inside. Now your envelope, you're just going to attach, or whatever page you have behind you, you're just going to attach to the front one, this one. As you can see, the envelope is right here. So I attached it to this one, and then I left this side, open so you can get in there. Okay, does that make sense? I hope it all makes sense. So it's just a folder, really. And then this side, just a piece of paper that I sewed around and had another piece of paper here, just tore it, and I made like a top pocket or a top tuck spot here. So I love these little flowers. I wanted these to show, and this says spring flowers. So I was like, oh, perfect. So it's a top pocket right there. So that's an easy page. It's just one sheet and another sheet torn, and then I just sewed it all. And then once I had it all sewn, I glued it onto my sheet here. Okay, so that folds like this. Sorry. So that folds like this. So it's like a accordion style book. And I'm probably gonna figure out how I'm gonna close these because I am seeing right now that they're kind of flopping around. So I might have to do like maybe a little magnet piece or a little tie string. I can figure that out as we go. So, okay, so this side opens up and I have two little pockets here, just like that. So this is a pocket right here. This is a pocket right here. So for these, what I did is I had some file folders. You can see the file folders right here. So I liked the tan color and I wanted to keep it showing. So I just took strips of the file folder. So if you don't have file folder, you can use paper, cardboard, anything. You can use, you know, like this as a base or whatever. So all I did was measure, not even measure, y'all. I put the file folder here, and I figured, okay, this is as big as my sheet is. So this part folded up and this part folded up. And then that's how I got this flip part right here, okay? Then this part, so for example, let's say this is folded and this is folded. This doesn't really match up. It was a longer sheet, but I just cut out this like little scalloped edge on both of them. Okay, so you want this piece longer than this piece. This is gonna be your pocket right here. And so before I sealed it all up, I just glued a piece of paper here, that paper here. It was easier just having this because then I can take this whole thing and glue it in or sew it in, whatever you wanna do. I just glued mine. But it's just easier if you have a piece of paper that you can work off of, like a strip. So this, I glued a sheet here. You don't have to glue anything here because that's gonna be the pocket right there. And then this part, I glued a piece of paper here. And then the top, I glued a sheet, and the bottom, I glued a sheet. Okay, so you can still see the file folder showing through. I wanted a little edge on it. I wanted it to look kind of rough and rustic like that. Okay, so once I had all my sheets glued in and inked up and all that, I inked everything up. You're gonna go to your sewing machine or you can glue. I sewed this part first, so all the way around, kept this part open for the pocket, and then I came around and just sewed across the top like this. Okay, and then once I was done with that, I just set the eyelet right here. And then, so then this would be sewn in or glued in. This is your top flap right here. And then I just glued this whole thing into the book. So that made it easy. So this, when you work in separate, like, I don't know, I call them like little pieces, I guess. When you work in separate pieces, it's easier to take it to your sewing machine and sew and do all that and then place it all together. It's kind of like a jigsaw puzzle a little bit, and then you put it all together. So that's how I did this. So super easy. Just grab a piece of paper. I just used a file folder just because I like the cream color. But you can use whatever you want, piece of paper, anything. And then just kind of get it all set up how you want it, and then glue in your papers, and then sew it if you want. You don't have to sew, you can glue, and then glue it in. So that's how that will go. And I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna enclose these. Maybe once the book is shut for a while, these will get, I literally just glued these in this morning. So maybe once the book is shut for a while, these will get flattened in there. Okay, so this flips like this. So that is this section, this back section. Okay, this part came off. It just slides in the front here. Y'all saw me work on that. So there we go. So there are our two sections of the book. And I'm debating, I don't know if I'm going to need a tie here. I might do a clip. Oh, and so y'all know, okay, so this little flap, remember, was the flap sticking out of the book at the end, and I just glued this piece, this page to it, okay, and glued everything on top of that flap. What I did with that flap is I bent it over a little to give myself a little spine over here. So I didn't, the flap at one point was just bent right here, if that makes sense. I scored another line, gave myself probably about, what, half an inch here. So that way all of these pieces will fit in here nicely and not be pulling on this, because that would have really strained this part right there. So I gave myself a spine here so that way I can fill this up with a bunch of goodies and such. Okay, so that's that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out, maybe once I get the notebook in here, it'll all hold together. But even then, look, I still have a lot of room that I can fool around and put a bunch of stuff in. Okay, this piece does not want to stay in today. I keep flipping my book around. So anyway, so let's continue on. So we've got the front pieces done. The back piece is done. I'm so excited. Now we're gonna work on this middle piece, and then we're gonna work on filling it. So what I'm going to do for this one, again, I have all these file folders. Well, this is paper. I have all these file folders. So I am going to just use a file folder for my little journal here. And I'm going to kind of measure. I don't measure, y'all. Y'all know that. I eyeball it. It's gonna fit in between these two eyelets. So I'm gonna put this little shorter right there, and I'm gonna cut it right about there. I'm just gonna cut this across. Let's do that first. So now we are working on our innermost little journal. This is gonna be the mini journal. This is gonna be where all the journaling is gonna happen. Not that we can't journal on all the other places, because we'll have journal spots and journal tags and journal cards and tags and tuck spots and things like that. Okay, come on. Okay, didn't cut all the way through, so I'm going to cut it. There we go. We'll use that for something else. So yeah, I use file folders to kind of strengthen up a lot of things. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is so this will be in here. I'm going to not measure again, but just kind of eyeball. I don't want it to stick out. This is gonna go in here. So I'm gonna cut it right about there. Again, these would be perfect. Whoops, let's try cutting that again, make sure it goes through. There we go. These would be perfect for tags. You know, stuff like this is great for tags. So we'll keep that. Okay, so let's see if this will all fit. So this is gonna be like our little mini journal book that is going to go in here. So far it fits in there perfectly. Okay, so let's see if this will be sticking out. Okay, it looks like, yes, it's going to stick out a tad. So I'm gonna cut that down a little bit because I wanna put some things on this, some tabs and stuff, and I don't want them sticking out way too far. So I'm gonna cut off, I don't know, maybe about 1/4 of an inch right there. You know, again, just estimating. It doesn't have to be perfect, y'all. And a lot of you have been asking me, like, what are your measurements? What are your sizes? And literally, there's no measurements. I start my book, you know, however amount of, you know, whatever material I have, and I fold it, and that's the size I get, you know. I don't say, okay, this is gonna be a 5x7 book or anything. I just start cutting. And then from there, I use that as my template. And so I'm using, you know, these sheets as to show me how wide and high I need everything. So I don't measure anything and say, okay, every sheet needs to be 5x7 or 4x6 or whatever. I don't do that at all. So I don't think any of my books are ever the same. Same size, same shape, same anything. Okay, so there we go. So it's not sticking out, yay. And so this is gonna be like the little mini journal that's gonna go inside here. Okay, so we got that. So that's all I do, measure it like that. Putting that to the side now. I don't need that anymore. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, what is the first thing I'm going to do? Okay, I have got all this material still left over, this pink material, and let's see if I have enough. Oh yes, look at that. It will fit perfect. This is all I have left of that pink material that I've been using in this book. So, let me think. I am going to put some masking tape on this spine just to strengthen it. And that'll help keep it, you know, strong. So let's move that. Remember, y'all, when I got this from the garage and it was frozen, it was just kept tearing. Well, now it's thawed out and now it's working perfectly. So, hey, I'm gonna have to go get me some more masking tape though. Okay, so you're gonna need, so pick whatever material you want. I'm gonna just use this pink one, and you're gonna need about 1 inch larger than your file folder, your book. You don't have to use a file folder. Like I said, you can use cardstock, you can use cardboard, you can use whatever you have. I mean, you can double up on pages, you know, just take 2 pieces of paper. You can use an envelope. I just have these file folders. I want to use them up. I have so many of them, y'all. So use what you got. And I'm gonna cut this one down a little bit because we don't need that much material. Makes it harder to glue and such. And it doesn't have to be perfectly straight because it's going to be hidden, but I try to get it as straight as I can, I guess. That doesn't help, but no biggie. Okay, so then the next thing you're going to do is, what are we gonna do? We're gonna glue this. Oh my goodness, y'all. Okay, glue first? Yes. Okay, yes. Trying to, again, think of all the steps and make sure I'm doing them correctly. Otherwise, I'll have to tear it all apart, and I don't want to do that. I've done that way too many times where I don't like that. Okay, so I'm putting the glue on. And again, I'm going to sew this so it doesn't have to be like perfectly glued. And then I'm going to rub it because otherwise you'll get, especially through this thin material, you'll get like clumps of glue showing through. So I'm just gonna, you could use a glue stick. I should have just done that. That would have been a lot less messy. But too late now, see? Too late now. Okay. Okay, and then you just, see, no glue clumps, because if you leave the glue, you'll get the clumps that come through this material, especially if you're working with thinner material. Oh, cute. That's just the beginning, y'all. That's just the base. Okay, then you cut a slit from corner to corner, and then just miter your corners. Cut that out. Cut that out. This will help you fold around the corners a lot easier. So I cut a slit from corner to corner, and then just on an angle this way, and then on an angle that way. Oop, that one didn't go too straight. There we go. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect because you're not really going to see it, but this I found to be the easiest way to, to get your material around these corners. You could just cut a strip across too, but I found when I do that, I don't cut evenly and then I get a big old mess. So it helps me to do a slit from corner to corner and then do these little mitered edges, whatever, these little diagonal edges. Okay, don't need these. Okay, so now we're gonna glue these to the back. Where'd it go, y'all? Oh, here it is. Oh gosh, my desk is such a mess, y'all. Just such a mess. I've got piles everywhere. I gotta do some Bible journaling this afternoon too because, oh my gosh, y'all, I am so behind on everything. I'm behind on everything. I mean, I really don't need to be doing this, but I'm so into this journal right now. I'm like, okay, this is double-sided tape, so I'm putting this down first. So I'm into this, I'm doing this journal because I'm just so into it right now. I'm like in the mode. So when I'm in the mode, it's like, let's do it. But I'm in too many Facebook groups, apparently. Too many Bible journaling groups, Facebook groups, whatever, a whole bunch of groups. And, so I'm gonna put some glue too. And like I'm doing contests and challenges and Bible journaling and just a whole bunch of stuff in all these groups, and I'm trying to keep up with everything, and yeah, I'm just behind. I'm behind. Oh, but you know, do what you can do. I mean, it's not like it's life or death. It's not like, you know, I'm gonna get in trouble if I get behind, but it's just me, you know, the expectations I put on myself. And I'm sure we all do that. Okay, like I said, this is all gonna get sewn down too, but this will help. So this is the easiest way I've found to put material on your journals. So the tape helps grasp it really well. And I'm pulling it taut, real tight, because I want it to be, look at that. Look how nice that looks. It's just really crisp along the edges. But if you don't want that look, if you want like a frayed look, I've done that a lot of times too. That way, then you'll just put the sheet on just the top part, cut it and fray the edges. That's really pretty too. So it just depends like what kind of look. Like I said, I don't do a journal the same way twice ever, I don't think. I do it differently each and every time. So, I mean, this part, you know, I'll do the same if I'm making a journal like this, but almost all my journals have been different. Like drastically different from each other. If you've been following me at all and looking at my journals, I just, you know, I get tired of doing the same thing. So I'm like, okay, I want to try something totally different, totally new. And so then I'll, you know, just go off on a whole new tangent. Like this one's totally different than my winter journal, which is totally different from my Renaissance journal, which is, you know, they're just all different. So, okay, I'm gonna make sure, come on. Just make sure it's all glued down. I mean, again, I'm gonna sew this, but it just helps when all the pieces are down because, you know, makes it easier on you. So you're not having all these little pieces like flicking up on you. Oh my gosh, this double-sided tape, y'all. I love it. I've never used it before until just recently. I was like, I don't need some double-sided tape. I could just use glue and blah, blah, blah. And now, again, this is one of those little easy tools, I guess, that I'm like, I can't believe I haven't been using it this whole time. You know, I kept seeing people use it. I'm like, I don't need it. I don't need it. You know, I like the way I do things. And now I don't think I could do without it. So, you know, every once in a while I'll find something like that I'm like, ah. Right now I'm thinking of getting one of those stamping trays. You know what I'm talking about? Like the thing that, you know, folds over for your stamps. I don't have one of those because I've been kept saying, I don't need one. I don't need one. You know, I like the way I do stamps, but I've been watching people use theirs and I'm like, oh, that might really will be a lot easier, you know? So I might get myself one of those, as well as the jelly plates and brayers. I do not have one of those, but they look kind of fun. And that one is just something I think I would have fun with. So I might, you know, get one of those eventually as well. Okay. So there we go. There's that first part. Okay, what to do next? I don't know, y'all. Okay. I did have this piece that I wanted to, this is going to be simple. This is not going to be like some major, you know, journal, but I do want to make it pretty and, you know, and have something really cool on it. So I'm thinking, I like this flowery part. So I'm going to try to cut this in kind of a straight line. As straight as I can maybe perhaps get it. And then I'm going to cut this in a, again, there's probably a way to do this, or you have one of those like cutters, fabric cutters, but again, y'all know me. I like doing everything the hard way. So I'm just going to do it my way. You do it your way. You do what works for you. And then I think I'm going to cut this down this way. Look at that, y'all. I think that's pretty straight. That is pretty straight. At least it looks straight to me. Look at that. Okay, now I'm gonna fray this because I have to have that look. I love the look of all the, ooh, look at that, how pretty. I love the look of just frayed material. Ugh. It's dangerous because now when I have shirts or something and I see a thread, I start yanking on it. I'm like, oh, let's fray it. I'm like, no, 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 that's the shirt I'm actually wearing. I probably shouldn't be fraying it. But it's like a habit now. Like I see threads, I start pulling and I'm like, yeah, that's great. Let's pull it. The more you pull, the better it'll look, right? That can get dangerous. My husband was wearing a shirt the other day and I saw a thread and I started yanking on it. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, we gotta fray this. It'll look better. He's like, no, just cut it. Don't start yanking on it. Like, oh, take away all my fun. Take away all my fun. Okay, oh, that's pretty. Okay, so I have this lace too. This was from a skirt, like a country skirt. And let's see if I cut a bunch of this lace out and we can see what we can do with it. I don't know how much I'll need. Okay, y'all, I cannibalize so many clothes. Definitely. I think that's my new favorite pastime is cutting up clothes. I will go to the thrift store, y'all, and just have a heyday. Like, oh, look at this outfit. Look at this outfit. I could just cut it up and everyone thinks I'm nuts. I'm like, I'm gonna cut it up. Okay, that won't. I could have that behind. I would have to, let me, again, I have to see it before I can decide. Let's cut this part off. Oh, my hair's getting in the way. I gotta be careful. I don't want to cut my hair. No, cut my hair. Let's move it out of the way. Okay. You could have it like offset like that. Let me see, what else we got here? Some of this material. We could do kind of like a little patchwork quilt thing, or we can have this. I don't know, y'all. Let's see what else we got. Got this green one too. I don't know. Oh, I've got some of this sari silk here too, the green. Gosh, look at my desk, y'all. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to just kind of fool around with this and see what we got. But okay, so what I'll do off camera, so you're not all staring at me trying to figure out what I'm going to do here. I have some, oops, y'all, sorry. I have some. I might just do something like this, like cut this, and then just sew. I'm gonna sew around each thing. So I might do something like that. Okay. So that's kind of my idea. So what I will do off camera is, since I don't have my sheets on here yet, this would be the time to sew. So I'm going to sew around, no, let me think. I'm going to sew around this, and whatever else I decide to put on here, I'll probably make like a little patch here and do some zigzag sewing and do like a lot of little stitchery type stuff and make it like kind of, I don't know, just, you know, some kind of look there. And then, so all the sewing will be here on this side. It won't matter. Then what I'm gonna do is figure out the pages I'm gonna put in here. So I'm probably just going to, let me just grab some paper. For instance, this isn't big enough, but if I had some scrap paper, I'm gonna find like 2 pieces of scrap paper. I might make some pockets on here, just simple pockets. So I will sew the pockets on the paper. So let's say here's a pocket. So I would sew this on this paper and maybe, yeah, just sew the pocket on the paper. Then I'm gonna put the paper, glue the paper in. Once my 2 papers are in, I'm going to take this and sew around the whole thing. So that's gonna make sure that those pages are in as well, okay? So I'll work on that off camera as well. Because it's a lot of sewing, so I don't want you to have to stare at, you know, nothing. Okay, so now let's work on what I'm gonna put on the inside here. So I found just some of this like cream style paper. Let me move that. Some cream style paper that I think will go well. And I'm gonna do like 8 or 9 sheets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see. Yeah, 8 should be good because I'll give you 16 halves, 32 sides, right? Is that right? I think I'm doing my math right. I don't know. Okay, so again, I want these to be about 1/2 inch inside. So I'm gonna cut it down that way. And I wonder if I have my big cutter. Let me see here. Maybe this. I have not used this one yet. Got it in a garage sale. I wonder if this will cut through all these pages. We shall see, y'all. Where does it cut? Where's the knife part? Whoa, I think it's right here. Okay, do I not have a, is there not a blade in here? Oh, there we go. Oh, it went through most of them. Let's see. Wow, look at that. I thought I had like one of those that came down like that. Look at that, cut right through. Whew, I like this cutter. I'll have to start using it more often. Okay, you all, I'm testing everything on you all on camera. Okay, so right there. And then I want it probably right about there. Okay, let's try this again. Right here, right? That's what I said. Okay, let's see. Right about there, right? Oh, that doesn't look like it's going even at all on that. Oh my gosh, y'all. Okay. Where's my scissors? Oh, where did my scissors go? My cutting scissors. Ah. Okay. Oh, right under here. Hello. Oh my gosh, y'all. I would lose my head if it wasn't attached. I really would. Okay. No biggie. We can fix it. I'm going to tear these pages anyways. So, I just want to get the general feel. Okay. These we can keep for something else. I'll put that to the side. Okay. Let's put this back. Okay. Okay, that part's gonna bother me right there. Okay, so now I'm going to fold these. And let's make sure these will fit inside, and they do. Okay, so off camera, again, what I'm going to do And I'm debating if I want to, I think I'm gonna sew these in. So I don't want the string to show out here. So what I could do, okay, there's a couple ways you can do this. You can do a triple, you know, one in the middle, two here, so triple hole. You could sew it in and sew it through here, and then you'll have the string showing through here. And then what I could do is just take some sari silk. Let me see what that would look like. Could take some sari silk and just kind of glue that along the spine like that. You can iron your sari silk or stretch it out and glue it along the spine like that to cover. Or I've got some brown too. Ooh, the brown might look better. Just do that along the spine. I might just do that. Or you can take, where's some fabric? Like you can take your fabric and you can sew through this piece, and I would probably back this with like a chipboard. So I would back it with a chipboard, and then you sew it through that, and so your strings would be back here, and then you would just glue that whole thing in here. That way they won't show back here. So there's a couple ways you can do it. I gotta figure out what kind of look I'm looking for. I might just sew it in. I'm also going to probably tear these edges, either tear them or use my little deckled scissors to, because I don't like this straight edge stuff, not for a nature journal. So I'm gonna like mess around with these and just probably tear them a little. I'll ink everything up. I might go through and maybe do some stamping throughout, maybe some of that smooshing technique with my inks. I'll grab my ink pads and just put some splatters on the page, you know, but these I'm gonna keep pretty simple. I might add maybe a couple little ephemera pieces to the corners or some stickers or something, but other than that, this journal is going to be kind of simple, because it's gonna, you know, we're gonna be able to write in it. But of course, we gotta zha-zha it up, of course. And then I'm also going to probably put some tabs. And now that I'm looking at this, I might add a few more sheets. It's a little too thin. We might have to add a few more. So I might add like 3 or 4 or 5 more sheets. And then I'm also gonna add some tabs and maybe some, I don't know, eyelash trim or something to the side. We gotta dress this up a little. But that's what I'll be working on probably in the next couple days. So I'll show you what I end up with. But this is how you can get just a simple book. And then this is going to go in here. So once all this is, like sewn in, all that, this is just gonna slide right in here. So then that way, when you're finished with this journal, since it won't be huge, you could always take it out and look at that. Once you can take it out and put another book in here. But yeah, we gotta snazzy this up, because no, that will not do, y'all. You know me, I can't just leave that. So yeah, it's gonna get really snazzied up, and we're gonna have some cool stuff in there. So that's what I'll be working on in the next few days. Okay, so that's where we're at. And then after that, we just have to start filling this with all of our tags and journal cards and stuff. Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm so excited. I am really pleased with how this is turning out. I had no idea how it would. I always have an idea at the beginning of what I think it's going to look like, and every single time, it turns into something completely different by the end, but I'm still always pleased with it. So, hey, that's my creative process, I guess. So thank you all so much for joining me. I hope this is helpful, and for those who are creating along, if you have any questions, just put the questions down below and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. And until then, y'all, have a very blessed week. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.